Good evening. Hello, Daniel. Nice to see you. Hello, world. Hello, anyone who watches this back later. Have my company for a couple of hours. All things being equal, sometimes things are not equal. Sometimes different things happen. But the plan is a couple of hours live. And as per usual, I've tried to find a theme for tonight. Is there anything I can latch onto? And yes, it's Limerick Day, apparently. It's a day to make limerick. So over the course of this live stream, we'll see who can come up with limerick or limericks. Musical Aviator, good evening to you. I'm just playing my Simpsons tapped out. You probably can't even see that. I have to make it's. If you remember Farmville from the olden days of Facebook, it's like Farmville except it's The Simpsons. And I've been playing it for a stupidly long time. And so yeah. Hey Luke, how's it going? So I've just got. This is one of those things where you just got to tap repeatedly. I can do different things. So this, I'll just be distracted for a minute while I do this. Okay. Literally, it takes 5 or 10 minutes. It's quite fun. There's like 400 characters from the years. Every one of them has been on a Simpsons episode. It's bizarre how long that show's been on the air. Means there's been lots and lots of characters in there, some only in a very fleeting way. Some have been obviously more regular. Well, some are in every episode and some are just regular or semi-regular. Yep, none of us are coughing like Josh Frydenberg, hopefully. I read a limerick about him. Speaking of coughing fits, it's AIDSy.
Okay, I'll turn the camera off. Let me turn the camera off.
Okay. Come back in a second. I'll help you.
There it is.
Okay. So AIDSy has something momentarily distracting him, but he's obviously going to be back. And I'll just keep tapping and not coughing. Tapping, not coughing. It could be a name of a band. Tapping, not coughing. That's a bit of a reach, isn't it? Okay, cool. Now I know what they're all doing. And a lot of the Simpsons characters on here make sense. Look, I'm going to save it till there's more people. I want my genius to be properly appreciated. Be badass. You like that's from the toilets on a bar restaurant that I like, Peruvian themed. Yes, Justin, that's something to. Oh, a limerick about the end of Jones. I love that. See if I can come up with that. Sorry, I got to finish this little distracting thing with this Simpsons game, which will take a couple of minutes. I just got to, tap and tap. It's a bit repetitive, but there we go. Just go tap, tappa, tappa, tappa. That's a Simpsons reference. Who gets that? Tappa, tappa, tappa. What would be the end of Jones? A disgusting, gross loudmouth named Jones. That would be the first line. I intend to pull no punches with that absolute piece of garbage. He's absolutely contemptible. Thanks, Luke. That's it. That's when Lisa was doing tap dancing. There's a tap teacher who was modeled on Child Star from the fucking middle of the 20th century. Oh God, now I've gone blank on her. Curly hair, good ship, lollipop. Shirley Temple. The tap dancer was modeled on Shirley Temple, and her instruction for how to dance was tappa tappa tappa, tappa tappa tappa, which is a bit weird. That's what we have to do with this game. In fact, I don't think I have the tap dancing teacher as a character, so might get her another day, because they keep doing special events where you get special characters. Currently, it's a thing with wrestling, from wrestling characters they've had in the show, which I don't really remember because, you know, like the majority of the world, I haven't really watched it for the last decade and a half. I mean, I know a lot of people just, you know, non-stop shit on The Simpsons, and like, it's nowhere near as good as it was. But, you know, more power to them for an absolutely stunning record-setting show. You know, it's run for so long. And I, you know, prefer not to shit on people when they've accomplished something. He said as he prepares to shit on Alan Jones, but Alan Jones is a horrible, reprehensible, indefensible piece of garbage. All right. Almost finished. I think these seem like recent characters I'm tapping on now. I gotta get them doing little jobs, as the saying goes. Put it down. A bit rude doing this, I admit. Then again, sometimes I'm just a bit rude. Okay, that's that. Let's do one more thing, and then I'll put it down. Oops, almost did the wrong thing. Would hardly have been a disaster, but I just would have been annoyed with myself. All right, tappa, tappa, tappa. Right, done. Get out of the way. Robot Man, Greg, and Annette. Hey, how you diddly ho, neighbours? Yes. Do we do just Simpsons tapped out jokes for the whole time? No, we're going to do a limerick about Alan Jones, because he is gross and he's finally leaving radio. I think he's actually been sacked because he cost them too much in legal settlements. It was like, I'm quitting for my health. So, a disgusting, gross sleazebag named Jones. I think phones. What rhymes with Jones? Phones. If we can get phones in there somehow. Drones. Phones and drones would be disgusting, gross sleazebag named Jones had a radio show where he drones. After much legal trouble, the courts burst his bubble. But he's still very loved by his drones. That's okay. Not great. Okay. A disgusting, gross sleazebag named Jones made a fortune with radio drones. No. Disgusting fat sleazebag named Jones made a fortune. Oh, loans. Loans is a good one. Cones. Safa, the official story is Alan Jones's doctor said for his health he should stop leading such a busy lifestyle. If you believe that, I got a bridge to sell you. He's cost 2 GB so much money. It's the hazy man. He's waving at me.
When are you going to start work tomorrow?
How you doing, buddy? How you doing?
So you've got time for me to bash you when I come to bed. What do you mean fucking no? That's fucking bullshit. You're getting bashed and I can't even. This is true.
It's a bit distracted. What are we doing, buddy? Are we
I don't
good?
even know what you're
Are
saying.
you good?
I'm muted. My mic.
No, you're not.
Yes, I'm muting my mic.
What are you doing? Can you even hear me? Because you're acting like you can't hear
Everyone
me.
can hear and see you. Except for me. I can't hear shit.
Okay, so you can't hear
I
me.
better move this out of the
Okay,
way.
maybe your headphone's not plugged
So
in.
that I can see
Although your
shit.
microphone's working, so
Move this
I
out
don't
of
know,
the way.
maybe your ears aren't working.
And I'd better move this out of the way so that I can touch.
Okay, that's
Like
you're having problems you don't normally have.
It all seems too much.
And you've shown no sign that you can hear me yet. So you've shown no sign that you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Because it's Limerick Day after all.
No, you can't. Like, I'm going to mute you if you can't hear me, because you're just droning.
Unmute. Stop cam.
Yeah. Okay. You can switch your mic on and off. You can switch your cam on and off. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a really indistinct yes. Was that a yes to me?
Right.
No.
That's good. We like this. We like Logitech. Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Now.
Yes. Good. That's good. We like.
Are you changing what your speaker is? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes. Big Bad Ad's 80 is being a boomer with technology right now. But we're all well, we're Gen X,
good.
but you know,
like that.
we're at the upper end of Gen X.
So good.
Can you hear me?
All good. See?
It's very strange.
Everyone's happy now.
AZ thinks everyone's happy. We're happy if you can hear me and have a conversation.
Me, not listening. Hang on. Why don't I come over here to where
just going to turn the noise he's making off for a while. And if you can ever hear me. Oh, Bex. Yeah, no. Look, again. Annette, you think Gen X and Gen Y are merged? Bex, it's completely fair to single out the boomerish energy of Gen X people. Like Karens are Gen X. All right.
That I need to.
I've unmuted you. Can you hear me?
I can totally hear you, and also I've taken myself off 0. So
that would be
now I can hear the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Okay.
Now, what that means, as far as limericks go, I will never know. But for me, it means peace, love, and an iPad, which you should all be thinking of as one, as a brotherhood of one, as a sisterhood of one, as a genital of one.
Fair enough.
If you can think of yourself as a genital, you should be thinking of yourself as my iPad.
Okay.
Why don't you tell everyone why it's important that everyone buys me an iPad for my 50th?
So have we settled on we're getting you an iPad? Well, that's okay. We'll work on that. We do need to set up a crowdfunding thing for that because it's a very worthwhile cause. And you know, we love the man, and he needs a way to communicate with the world from his
when he's in hospital. Yeah. I'm often in hospital, and an iPad would be perfect for this.
Yeah. So we'll have to look at what's the most appropriate iPad to get you, and then ask the heaving crowd.
I've already bought it.
You've already bought it?
Yeah, I got it today. It is
Okay.
brilliant. I got a discount. I got
Yeah.
it with all the bits and pieces that go and stop, except
o-
not the stupid ones, like
Right.
not ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Um, Extra memory and available for hard drive kits. I've got a writing pencil, um, and I've got extra um, communication, but it's not a phone. It's not pretending to be anything that it's not, and it's a really good. Um, um, it's a really good document. Um, um, uh, fucking documentizer, and it's also a great fucking editor for
Okay.
audio visual. So
Okay.
pretty much everything that um, uh, Angry World is looking to have.
All right, but I'm confused because you're telling everyone else to buy you an iPad and then you're saying you've got one. So I'm confused by those statements.
Okay. Do you want me to explain them now?
You're making it sound like that's a complicated thing to explain.
It's not. It's the best way to get an iPad is to get it on your plan, your phone
Right.
plan.
Okay. So you're getting a pay later thing.
Yep.
So you're hoping for the kind people to help you with, but that makes perfect sense. That is an incredibly simple answer, and the world is educated because of it, which
Beautiful.
we're all happy about.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful. So I
Hey,
got
so when
the
you
very
came
best
on,
deal.
yeah, when
Yeah.
you came on, I was trying to come up with a limerick for Alan Jones because he's leaving radio. The official line is his doctor said it's too stressful for his health to keep up his busy lifestyle. But everyone knows 2GB has sacked him because he cost them too much with legal cases. Aussie Gun Bunny, hello to you. So we've got to try and come up with a Jones lyric. And I've been toying with a disgusting a disgusting gross sleazebag named Jones made a fortune with radio drones. And now the next line is possibly something about the lawyers. He lost legal cases, or for libel he sued. The lawyers were rude.
Yeah. Okay. I see where you're going with this. I can see where you're going with this.
And now he's stuck
Um,
home on his own.
um, Let me tell you about a kid called Jones.
Okay, it's a limerick, and
Couldn't.
I will seriously punch lumps if the number of syllables aren't right because I get really fucking pedantic about that. I hate it when people do song parodies and don't do the right tune or number of syllables, and it's not a limerick unless it's the right number of syllables.
Um, so that I am educated in the correct and proper way, tell me how many. Tell me of the form of the limerick.
Well, it's a rhyming scheme AABBA, and the
AAB.
cadence is, I think it's 8 syllables. Da, 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 da. So 8 syllables. Da, 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 da. 8 syllables. Da, 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 da. 5 syllables. Da, 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 da. 5 syllables. Da, 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 da. 8 syllables. You can possibly get away with 9 syllables on the last line. But yes, I want to punch people who say here's the limerick, and it's not it's really fucking simple rules. And if you can, and also when they do something and it's just shittily off, and I go, look, but if you change 2 words, it fits. Why the fuck didn't you take 2 seconds longer to make up. It's just a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing that makes me angsty.
But I mean, surely, angry, we can all agree that by the use of the the sacred line of USA number one, USA number one, that would make a limerick work in any case,
We could
form or
also,
play.
yeah, we could also do one about Trump, because it's like everyone in the White House has got the Rona right now, which is increasingly humorous. That
Yeah.
it's just ripping through it, like it's ripping through the White House like wildfire at the moment.
What the fuck has happened? Because you know that I've been away today.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you about my good news, and I'm
I'll tell
going
us good
to.
news.
Crazy Lady is
He's gone.
gone. Yeah,
Woo!
baby.
Woo!
Yeah, baby.
That's a big one.
Um,
That is a big
yeah,
one.
I am a very, very, very happy boy. Um, uh, yes, I'm a very happy boy.
Oh, that's a big
Um,
score. Yeah.
I cannot even begin to express. Um, I can't even begin to
No, that's
express.
like the big stone that was sitting on your chest when you woke up each morning, and it was almost impossible. And you're doing the Sisyphus thing. You push the stone off your chest, but then it would just roll back on there. And
And of course,
this time it's rolled away.
you know, you know that I was also responsible for everyone else's stone as well, and as a result, that was just fucking getting to me.
Yeah.
And I looked at my eyes this morning,
Yeah.
and they were dark. They were dark underneath, and I was just going, "Oh yeah, they're looking pretty good." And then this afternoon, when the news came through, and there was like, oh, angels jumping around, giving a bit of dance party. Um, Angels to the weekend, really different. But got to be doing lines as it happens.
Hmm.
Um, Basically, my eyes have lost a lot of their dark color. I don't know. Can
Yeah.
you see that? They've actually lost a lot of their dark color.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
Um,
you
it's
you're looking
like
positively rosy cheeked and youthful.
it's like the depression has lifted,
I can
and
imagine.
I'm a bit fucking stoked.
Yeah.
So that's the good news. Um, and yeah, I was thinking about limericking, but
Yeah.
as I understand it, our
Yeah.
man Trump has got himself into hospital again. Is that
No,
right? No.
no, no. Trump's never
But
been in hospital.
talk to me. Talk to me about what's happening over
Okay,
there.
a whole bunch of staffers have tested positive, and a whole bunch of Secret Service agents in the White House have tested positive. An aide who worked closely with the vice president tested positive. So the vice president was meant to be at least partially isolating himself, probably being tested again. And Trump's just being his usual shit for brains self, chucking huge hissy fits in public when people won't worship him. As a couple of people pointed out, Boris Johnson was in hospital, the British Prime Minister. I don't know if that's what was confusing you. He was really sick. Like he had to. He never ended up on a respirator, but he was under very close watch.
And I understand that he was in intensive care at some point.
Yeah.
He wasn't well. He wasn't a
No,
well boy,
not at
and
all.
it was not a it was not a Boris Johnson's died tonight. Um, you know, un un you know un 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 unappetizing or uh,
Unappealing?
yeah,
I'm not sure where you're going. So
unrealistic
yeah,
story
yeah,
that Boris Johnson could die. It could have happened, but he survived. He does own a very good healthcare system, which is going to always help you. How are you going today? Good. I own the healthcare system. I'd
yeah.
like a much better lunch than this, please. Go to the Fat Duck, please. Um, and yeah, so he's done okay. I have got to admit, dude, that the fact that Trump's not fucking on a respirator surprises the shit out of me.
I'm
I,
really surprised. He's
I'm
been exposed
surprised,
to so many people.
you
Yeah, so
know.
Aussie Gun Bunny just
His
did
fucking child runs
yeah,
around with
yeah,
fucking Voltron toys,
yeah,
fair up his ass.
yeah,
Um, I have said all of that in parody.
yeah.
None of that is for reals. So I can't be sued for any of that. Um,
Allegedly,
the fact
allegedly.
that I've said that Baron Trump has stuck Voltron up his ass, it's just for shits and giggles, or
Yeah,
for Voltrons and giggles.
yes,
And I don't mean that for fucking a real fucking Voltron would lose its life to Baron's ridiculous fucking idiocy. Um, so uh, fucking you've got Trump not fucking getting sick. I
not
don't
yet.
understand that.
It's
Do
it's
you
it's very
understand that?
confusing. No, he's been exposed to so many people who are positive. It's quite stunning because I'd say it's a case of when he gets the virus, not if, because he's at such high risk, and he's not in the prime of health. He's in quite a high risk category. I reckon
I'm
he
gonna
gets it. He's going to get very sick.
I'm gonna tell you a secret.
Tell me a secret, buddy.
Um, I've been going to the chemist
Yeah.
on a fairly much daily basis. You know how I can go once a week now if I want to.
Yes.
They've been making me go once every 3 days
Okay.
for reasons that I can go into, but it's a pisser.
Yeah,
Um,
let's just say reasons.
just say reasons. Anyway, um, uh, what's been happening is every now and again when I go in, because you know how you've got to socially distance yourself.
Yes.
I've been going in so fucking hot, and pissing sweat so fucking much,
Yeah.
that I've been asked to leave the store and wait outside to cool off a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when I come back
Yeah.
in and I'm still not cooled off a little bit,
Yeah.
they zap me again and they say, "How would you like to just dose and go? Will you just go?" And I'm
Yeah.
and, and
Yeah.
I'm
I imagine the
yes.
go is their favorite part of that. Yeah. Just
Well,
go.
the easy part of that is the go
Yeah.
is the favourite part, and
Yeah.
so I've gone a couple of times. Yes, I'm more
Yeah.
than happy to go.
Yeah.
This is me going, and
Yeah.
they fucking technically apparently yesterday, and they're going to check again in the next few days and the next few days. Apparently, I'm supposed to go to off of the hospital
Uh-huh.
with some writing implements, and some crayons, because it looks like I have high fever, a respiratory infection. It looks like I've got bits and pieces of Christ knows what in the form of a fever. And we'll go from there.
All right. The
I don't
fever's
know, man.
yeah.
Go on,
Oh, well,
please.
yeah. So just noticing, Aussie Gun Money did a limerick in 99559 format. So it can either be 8 syllables and 5 syllables or 9 syllables and 5 syllables. His one was a classic. There once was a man from Nantucket who said to them, "You can go suck it. I can't take a shit. Someone's on this shit. I guess I'll just use this here bucket." So
Okay.
it can either be 9 and 5 or 8 and 5 in terms of syllables. And hello, Stella, by the way. Good evening to you.
Yeah.
Safa's
Okay.
asking, was it mainly the rural US that voted for Trump? It was mainly white people that voted for Trump. Overwhelmingly, a significant majority of white voters voted for Trump. So you got any white American friends? You can look at them sideways because there's a better than even chance they voted for Trump, no matter what they tell you. So
Why do you think that was the case, mate? Why do you think they did that?
because they're racist as fuck. Why did otherwise reasonable people arc up so badly at Julia Gillard? Because they were really misogynist and didn't want a woman telling them what to do. Why did otherwise reasonable seeming people react so badly to Barack Obama and vote for an absolutely hideous, disgusting, vile, racist, misogynist piece of shit? Because deep down, they really didn't like the black fella telling them what to do. And they didn't like the idea that people who weren't straight, white, cishet, having any sort of a voice or recognition in the country. That was the driving force behind their votes, that they were just
I'm going to shut you down there, buddy,
okay.
and say if you want to stop your cishet sound
Yeah.
in this or any other English-speaking country, then you get what you deserve, which is an urban, and I say that with fingers like this.
Yeah.
Really,
Wiggly
yeah, fingers
fingers.
like this, wiggly fingers.
Yeah.
Okay. You get your fucking you get your urban fucking sound in your populations,
Yes.
and basically you deserve to have everything touched, stolen, hurt, violated, and basically sold off at a cheap discount rate out of Anco. What I need everyone to understand is
Yes.
get white, get right, join the fight.
Jeez. It's really disturbing that you just came up with that off the top of your head. Meanwhile, out there are a bunch of neo-Nazis who, that's fucking great. Write it down. My crayon's broken, Roger. Oh, for fuck's sake, get another crayon.
I was once in a writing session. No, it wasn't a writing session. It was an idea session for a marketing team. Yeah, and we were to come up with just some 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 fucking anything. Just get some mud, chuck it up on the wall,
Yeah,
and see what
see
happens.
what sticks. Yeah.
See what sticks. And I was just saying stuff, and people were losing their fucking minds over the genius brilliance that was coming out of my fucking head. And I was going, "Oh, I'm gonna die here today." And and yeah, no, I I got to a place where I went, okay, you can't get out of here. You are paid to be here. If you leave here, you will not be able to buy the Christmas present for your wife that you want to buy her, which is quite expensive. So you have to stay here. So you have to stay here, and you have to keep on doing things. So what I decided was I was going to push it as far as I possibly could to
Yeah.
see how much I could go
Yeah.
without actually um, uh, 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 catching the ire of these people. And it
Yeah.
turned out that I couldn't, um, because the best I could come up with was basically cow love, petunia fear, as a scent, and that was going to be a scent for the Australian Open tennis championships.
Mm.
Um, cow love, petunia fear,
Mm.
and we were going to have a cow
Mm.
coming on onto the blue court, and a sort of a pot of petunias shaking and running across the court back
Yeah.
and forth, and then we're going to have a, a, what do they call them? Official, fucking judge,
Yeah.
um, giving it a bit of um, uh, uh, petunias, 30 love, and then have the cow going 40 love, or 40-30. You know how they
Yes.
score,
Tennis. Yes.
and have tennis scores as
Yes.
these fucking cows and petunias
Yeah.
basically fighting one another for I don't know. I don't know what it was they were
But
actually fighting for. Um,
why does it need to be more than that? Really? Is it?
but they loved it. They
Yeah.
fucking loved it.
Yeah.
So much so they gave me a fucking bonus. A
Nice.
bonus that was
Nice.
enough to take my wife on a plane to where we were going.
Well, that's nice. That
And
is
I just
nice.
went, this is
Yeah.
ridiculous. I've got to do more advertising when we get home.
Yeah.
And
Sorry,
then
I'm just going to interrupt you because I just want to say hi to my pal Mokong, who's actually noticed we're talking about Limerick Day. He is in fact a man of Irish persuasion.
oh,
He's doing is if you Limerick Day, do we call everyone a gal? And referred to Limerick having a reputation of being a rough city, like Knife City, some people call it. As he points out, the Rubber Bandits come from there, and I know Blind Boy from the Rubber Bandits is quite upset that Limerick still has this reputation of being dangerous and violent. He feels that it isn't accurate anymore. There had certainly been episodes in its past where there was some considerable violence to be had there. But
true.
but yes, no, we rather than the city of Limerick, we're doing the rhymes. Like the one I wrote for Josh Frydenberg, who had a coughing fit in Parliament today while he was answering a question. So he had to go and have a coronavirus test, which is his second one, because he was exposed to someone who had it a couple months ago. And
Mm-hmm.
because he coughed in front of everyone, he had to go and have another of the spears up your nose that gets stuck into your brain. So
Oh,
this is I'll try and remember it. I came up with it earlier. A limerick for Josh. There once was a Polly called Josh in charge of the government dosh. He coughed quite a lot. Now he's off like a shot for a COVID-19 test. By gosh, it's not legendary, but I made it fit.
and it worked, and it didn't have to go up anyone's bottom.
Yeah.
I've done. Can you tell me what I'm doing wrong? I've got my camera is got to a point where I'm over here. Oh,
I'll widescreen it because you're getting troubled by things.
that helps a lot. Thanks,
Yeah, there you
man.
go. You're widescreen now.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
that's okay.
And, dude, I would fucking, I reckon no. I reckon you've done fucking well there. Because my first ever limerick was, there was a young man from Cork. He was from Cork. That was all there was, and I I was really happy with that, and the nuns in my class were very unhappy with that.
that
Now,
that
what
that didn't work.
a lot of people don't understand is I went to an Irish Catholic primary school, and
Yes.
that meant there was a couple of fucking skills you fucking had down, and one of them was limerick.
Yeah.
And the other one was the uh, uh, there's something to the universe. Um, it doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
Anyway, the fucking yeah, limerick was a skill that you had down, and
Yeah.
I didn't have down. And the nuns were looking at me like, "Are you a fucking retard?" And then they were looking like,
I like
"Well,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course you're a fucking retard. We know you're a fucking retard. We just don't know if you're a fag or not." Um, I'm just going to have to sit here over lunchtime wondering if you're a fag and a retard because you can't limerick. How can anyone not limerick and be a Catholic? Um, and then they go, "Where was your mother born, young,
Yeah.
man?" And I'd say, "She was a Thursday Islander princess." And then they'd look around one another and go, "Coon, yep, fair enough. That fucking
Touch of the
explains
tar
everything.
brush.
Yeah, fucking, that explains everything. Let it go. Let it go. Fucking, okay, it's lunchtime for everyone. Off you go. Adrian, you've got to do better on your limericking." Um, and the desperate shame is, if
Yeah.
I had, I would be a multi-billion-dollar fucking uh, rap web star right now, and that kills me. Um, that kills me a lot. Because I could just rock up there and people would go, "Yeah, no, man, he's white. He can't be, he's not urban." And I go, "No, you don't have to be white or black. Besides, my name comes from here, and these are my people from this island and that island." And it'd be like, "Oh, right, yeah, okay, yeah, cool." And then people will be okay with it. But no, um, I just, I don't know. I just, just, yeah, I think everyone in their life fucking goes through and goes, "Oh, I've missed out on an opportunity or experience or a thing I should have done that would have given me a massive opportunity
Mm. Oh
or
yeah.
three,
Yeah.
three
Absolutely.
extra genitals
Yeah.
or fucking some kind of fucking Chernobyl brandy, fucking, it could have been better, bigger, and harder. Um, and I think that I am happy to be able to report to everyone this last week that
Yes.
the best thing to do is to turn around and go, "Don't worry about it. Seriously, don't worry about it. Oh, I'm not good enough about this and I haven't done a proper blah and I haven't, don't worry about it. It's okay. Do it again. You're going to do another one. It's going to be okay. Someone else is going to do something really, really cool.
Mm.
You're going to notice it and you're going to go, I like that line. I'm going to use that line. Fucking someone else is going to do something that is completely fucked up in I am a kid who owns a hotel suite, whole floor of a hotel, kind of thing, and know that that kid's going to become a heroin addict. Um, it's just
Okay.
you just go, all right, I'm going to just let the world be the world,
Mm.
and give it its own little prayer. I'm going to let the world be its own little thing, not a pagan prayer. And that would be wrong. That would be wrong. No, I'm talking about a heathen prayer, where basically one turns around and says, hello, wind, sky, fire, dusty hearth. I say hello to you today, and I go, you've got really cool things going on. I would like for you to show the most interesting thing you can do, but mostly fuck up my enemies. So yeah, it's been a very interesting way to go, and it was the ways that the Catholic nuns used to go. Tell me, angry, that the
Yes.
Catholic nuns didn't go that way.
Oh, the Catholic nuns went many, many dark and twisted ways. We both went through Catholic schools. The nuns weren't actually in a much control of mine. They were when I were young. First couple of years in New South Wales, there's 3 levels of school: infant school, which is kinder, grade 1 and 2; primary school, which is grades 3 to 6; and secondary, which is years 7 to 12. Whereas in Victoria, there's only 2 levels of school. There's primary, which is year 1 to 6, and secondary, which is year 7 to 12. But yeah, when I went to infant school, that was run by nuns. The only 2 teachers there were nuns. When I went to primary, my first year there was the last year the De La Salle brothers were in charge.
Wow.
They got pulled back out of the education system. Not completely, actually. They still actually ran some boarding schools because my uncle was a De La Salle brother, and he continued to teach for many years at boarding schools. They had boarding schools in Sydney and Brisbane. But this little Catholic school in Dubbo, they pulled them out of. But there were still some nuns teaching, but they weren't in power roles. It was the lay teachers who were. The principal was not ordained after my first year there, year 3. So that was a very long time ago. They started pulling the clergy out of the day schools. Still have them in the private schools, the boarding schools, but they took a lot of the clergy out of the day schools, and if they were still teaching there, they weren't running it. They weren't the principal, and I'm not sure what drove that decision, actually.
I can tell you exactly what drove that decision,
You tell me.
and it drove it in pretty much every other Catholic day school in both on the eastern seaboard, which was that the Catholic education system
Yeah.
saw that there was fairly biggish, or let's say fucking massive lawsuit coming its way,
Yeah.
vis-a-vis things that have been done to children by priests years previous.
Uh,
Um,
I don't reckon this is the case because this is decades before any of that came out, and
damn straight,
they
damn straight,
wasn't
damn straight.
priests. It wasn't priests were never teachers. Priests were never teachers.
Mm.
So I yeah, I really don't think it was anything to do with that. I think it was actually probably a budgetary thing. They were contracting the
Right.
roles of the brothers and the sisters.
The uh, when you say the priests were never teachers,
Yeah,
where are you bringing that from?
from 10 years of Catholic school.
Okay.
If,
Um,
if you went to boarding schools that were run by Jesuits, then you would
yes.
have priests who were teachers. That's
Yes.
very
You would.
specialized. But if you went to the Catholic schools that were just day schools, they never had priests. Well, not never, but not like the 20th, second half of the 20th century. They didn't have priests as teachers. They did have the other ordained. They had the brothers and the sisters. The Yeah, I mean, technically the brothers are
Well,
monks, but we
all right.
never called them
Yeah.
monks.
Yeah.
And the sisters were the nuns.
Yes. All right. Um, I guess the other ordained were what were their roles?
Well, like I said, the brothers and the sisters, they were the teachers, administrators. They were the principals. The schools were run until the 70s. Until the late 70s, the schools were run by the orders, the religious
Yes.
orders, either the
Yes.
De La Salle brothers or the Sisters of Mercy. And
Yes.
not the fun goth band, but actual nuns.
Yes.
So
That's right. Okay. I'm guessing the best way to the best way to resolve that would be to go and do some research, which I'll do for next week.
sure, like I
Um,
said, boarding schools were one thing, but the day schools, priests weren't
was
teaching in the day
different.
schools.
Yeah, different.
Um,
Yeah,
and they started to shift the ordained out of the power positions in the 70s. Um,
well,
so yeah.
yeah, that's right.
So some of them are still teachers, but not at the boarding schools. Many of the boarding schools were still actually run by the religious orders. If it was a boarding school, you'd be more likely, like a girls' boarding school is more likely to be run by nuns, and
Yes,
a boys' boarding school is more likely to be run by the brothers or even Jesuits, depending
yeah,
where you are. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, the day schools, they started phasing the ordained out in out of the power roles in the 70s,
And
late
also,
70s.
where you are, and also the focus of what the the social um, uh, the social perspective was. What did it mean to be Catholic in our town in our time, and what were we trying to achieve? Um,
I don't know
there
that
was a lot
anyone
of
ever looked at it like that. It's just a thing you were. Um,
uh, yeah, but this is a thing that the the priest folk took really seriously.
yeah,
Um, I used to talk to them about it, and they would spend many a long evening um, uh, slamming down scotch, trying to say which way things should be going.
yeah,
Um, and I was surprised because I thought they already had the manual ready to go, but apparently no. And apparently they had a new one come out every year from Rome, and it had spelling mistakes in, which you get to correct yourself, meaning put in whatever words you want,
yeah,
um, which I thought was the best way of making things go ever. if I ever have a corporate thing, I'm going to have spelling corrections just like that. You know, like this is our corporate document. There
Yeah.
are some spelling errors. Fix as you please.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
um, and uh, and you should have limericks in them. Um, I wonder if you could have limericks with like you know, fissile metals in them. You know,
Anything you can make rhyme or fit the rhythm is fair game.
so okay, so plutonium, um, atomic, um, things like the bariatric. Um, you know, I reckon, yeah, I reckon you got something going there. Um,
It'll just take a
um,
bit of focus
once
and squeezing.
once a grey clicking rock um,
Mm.
was bound to turn into. Um, see, because I don't think I could do this on my own, but I reckon, you know, with a bit of help,
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Angry. I'm looking at you, my man.
That's fair.
Um,
You look
I
at me.
reckon, I reckon, you know, these could end up into some pretty good limericks.
Yeah.
Um, but that's that's as
Oh,
far as I can get going
that's okay.
at the beginning.
Well, as we're at the halfway mark, I have a little drinky that I made the other day. I don't know if you remember me talking about the milk clarified
Yes,
drinks. Making one last
yes,
night. This is one I made a couple of days ago. This was red, and I mean bright red, fire engine
wow,
red. Run it
wow,
through the clarification process, and it looks like a
yeah,
urine sample.
yeah,
It was also very bitter in that it was mostly aromatic bitters. The dominant ingredient in this was a shot and a half of a bright red bitters called Peychaud's bitters, also known as a Creole bitters. Um, so, which makes the initial drink quite bitter, but because it's gone through the clarification process, oh my god, it just tastes so good. And it's like 1 million cases of coronavirus in the US. They're up to 1.3 million, almost 1,347,936. They've been over 1 million for a while, and over 80,000 deaths,
Jesus
um,
Christ,
which is
Jesus,
not good. That's more than 5%.
Jesus.
That is a higher than
That,
5% fatality rate.
that's
Um,
not a good. That's going the wrong way. It's
not
going
as
the
bad
wrong
as
way.
the UK, which has a 15% fatality rate.
Yes, that's.
224,000 cases and 32,000 deaths
But
is
I
not a good
hate to say
statistic.
it, but the UK has had a shit um, um, fucking health system for a long time. They have raided it and raided it and raided it for money over and over and over again to the point where the bloody thing is held up with matchsticks and glue.
Oh,
And the fact that anything works at all is basically a perchance to the skill
yeah,
and dedication of the people who work in there.
yeah,
That system is just
yeah.
about to fall apart,
No,
and it does. All those people are going to die
yeah,
so fast.
yeah. No, the
Um,
Tories have been tearing it apart for decades.
yeah, yes, yes, literally for decades, because I don't want them spending my money on their health. Um, and this attitude is, you know, all over the right wing world. You know, I don't want them spending my money on their health. And it's like you fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Um, spending their money on your fucking wealth, but you know, don't worry about that. Um, it's something that happened in Australia that was so profound that now you're not allowed to fuck with the health system here because the ultra right wing basically tells you if you fuck with the health system, they will come over and hurt you with pairs of scissors because the money. We have an artificially raised economy because of our health system. We have people who aren't in bed, they're at work, they're paying tax, they're fucking, you know.
The LNP is still determined to destroy it because they're driven by ideology, not reality. They are driven by the idea of, hey, this lifeboat we're in's made of wood. If I pull it apart, I could sell the wood. Yeah, but it's a lifeboat and it's the only thing keeping us alive. Oh, shut up. It's good for the economy if I have wood to sell. And for a very short time, you'd have some wood you could sell. And then, I mean, they're just. I just noticed Aussie Gun Bunny saying he's made his own beard oil. Now I'm enthralled. I need to know more about your homemade
beard oil. Is an amazing thing. He should tell you that as I create wheat bix of yin yang.
Okay, getting some sustenance while Aussie Gun Bunny is hopefully going to tell that was the wrong thing. I meant for me to come up. So I just noticed Mokong and Stella having the whole discussion about Ireland and traveling. It's like traveling anywhere, like because I was living in the western suburbs of Melbourne, like Sunshine, and there's a whole bunch of people who thinks you get murdered if you step out in the streets in Sunshine. And yeah, I don't know, some violent things happen, some crimes happen, but only to a very small number of people. But I actually, because I listened to the Blind Boy podcast, he's from Limerick, and he, not always, but quite often talks about the negative views people have of Limerick, and they think crime is out of control there and gangs run everything. And he says there certainly has been bad times in the past, but he doesn't believe it deserves it now. And he's a bit protective of his home and people saying the negative things about it. More power to him. Oh, I actually, if you go and look at my Angry Cocktails channel, you'll see the video where I made this drink. Maybe I could go and get the cable because it doesn't work when I try and play a video on Wi-Fi. If I get the cable, I'll make it there. Annette, Romper Stomper was Footscray, which is interesting because if you go back to when they were basically setting Romper Stomper, when there was an influx of Vietnamese people and these racist white dudes thinking they were going to fight to protect from the Asian invasion. Lost that battle, didn't you, dickheads? So as in Gun Money, your beard oil has clove, lemon, cinnamon, eucalyptus, radiata, rosemary, cedarwood, and manuka with coconut oil as a base. Dude, that sounds fantastic. That absolutely sounds fantastic. More power to you with that glorious beard oil you've made. I love the sound of that. Yes, maybe I'll go and get the cable and plug it in, and then I can we can do a watch party in of my Trinidad Sour video. And you may be right; they may well have filmed bunches of Romper Stomper in Sunshine. I mean, Footscray and Sunshine are right next to each other, so it's a bit of a grey area whether you're in Footscray or Sunshine half the time. So, but yes, it was set in Footscray. And yeah, it was really funny because when I saw Romper Stomper in the cinema when it came out, young Rusty Crowe in the lead as the charismatic Nazi. And I lived in Sydney and I didn't know Melbourne at all. So it didn't really mean anything to me when they were saying it was in Footscray. And then years later, I moved to Melbourne. I lived in Footscray. And then, yeah, one day I watched Romper Stomper for the first time in forever and realized it was set in Footscray. And I'm going, it's set in Footscray. And then I just started laughing because the whole central thing about, oh, you'll stop these Asians from taking over. And if you live around Footscray, you'll go, you lost that, you fucking losers. And I'm glad of it. The country is richer for the diversity. Get yourself some damn good food in Footscray. And in fact, more recently, there's been a significant influx of people from various African nations, both people who've just migrated and refugees and asylum seekers. There's quite a strong African community in Footscray now. And I always thought I'd had a bit of a giggle, like people say, oh no, look at him coming in. Yeah, I reckon the people who are glad to see the Africans coming in are the Vietnamese, because then they get to stand out front of their shops going, geez, Footscray was all right before all these Africans got here, wasn't it? They get to turn it around. Because yeah, post-World War II, there was a significant Italian migration to Footscray, and they would have been vilified at the time as foreigners, and they settled in. And then, yeah, some decades later, there's an influx of Vietnamese and other Southeast Asian people into Footscray, and that was a source of some tension for a while. They settled in. In the last 10 years, there's been an influx of African people. There's the diaspora. Things change. I think the only thing that gives me pause about these clarified cocktails I've been making is I'm starting to think they taste a bit samey. Yes, the milk clarification process takes the edge off, makes it very smooth and easy to drink. And like I said, this one was mostly bitters, so it doesn't taste like it now. It tastes almost sweet. Aussie Gun Bunny, yes, I still have the PO box, same PO box number. So yeah, exactly. Still, no. I while I was saying that like a joke, I imagine yes, a lot of the Vietnamese people would have had complaints about African people moving into Footscray. And I say it's very funny because this is cyclical, and it just keeps happening. So who do I reckon is more racist, Australians or British? Racist in different ways, I think. Mokong, thanks for dropping by, buddy. Take care. Hope you're still enjoying your swim. Actually, you're getting into better swimming weather. I do see all your social media posts where you go for swims in the ocean. I assume it's getting to be at least slightly better weather for swims. But look after yourself, man. Mokong, by the way, is one of my oldest YouTube friends. Did a video response to one of my very early videos. It was a chain of anti-racist videos, and yeah, that's how we got to know each other, and have been the internet buddies ever since. I really have to get to Ireland at some point. I've still never been to Ireland, and catch up with Mokong. So, but that would be sometime in el future. So let's see if I can. Oh, look, okay. There's the Trinidad Sour. See if I can work out why it wasn't working before. So settings. I'll just do 480p. Ooh, that's interesting. Sound is on. Sound is on. So there's no reason sound wouldn't play. So I'm just gonna. Oh wait, ADS's back. Sorry, I was distracted for a bit. Oh wait, sorry, you're still muted. Sorry, my bad. There you are. You're back.
I'm not muted now though, and it makes me happy that I'm not muted because I can be of help and assistance. I can see that you're trying to make something go vis-a-vis the video projections.
Yes.
And it surprises me because you're very good at this. And
I just worked out what the problem was, by the way, when I tried to do it before. I was looking at all the controls and there was a little box that says share audio that wasn't ticked. So while ADS's having his Weetabix, and I'm going to, actually, no, I'm going to give this a test run and see if I need to get the cable. But I want to share with you folks my most recent cocktail video. We'll have a little watch party.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Share that window. Try and make it full screen. See if that works. And play.
You look awesome. You look awesome.
Hope you're keeping well.
No, okay, it's not working. I do need the cable. Okay, so wait, I'll leave you in charge for a second while I go and get the cable.
Okay. I just want to point out, ladies and gentlemen, that Angry looks awesome in that video. We are coming into autumn here into Melbourne, and what can often happen in Melbourne in autumn is that it can get really grey and miserable and dull. But our man, with his bright suit and his yellow tie, has come on down and said, I think you'll be having a cocktail. I think you'll be enjoying that cocktail. I think you'll be having that cocktail with me. And I frankly couldn't put colour together like that at all. Could you? I'm going to look over to the thing here. I think I'm going to need to still have the poo box. No, I don't. Going to head off now. See you next time. Thanks, Mokong 3M. I was a gun bunny. Cool. I'll see if I can convince the wife to let me borrow some more of her cells, and it'll make you some really good stuff to stop beard itch. Oh, that's the beard stuff. It's good. It's good stuff. That musical aviator. I keep on just getting this idea of elevator music as you've been flying down, you know, on fire.
It's my favorite elevator music. Go from up and in.
Can you imagine like having your plane going down at Mach 4 or 5 on fire, bits coming off, and just the elevator music playing in the background as the pilot is going, yeah, we got this. And the co-pilot's going, no, we don't. We're fucking all going to die.
Okay, so I'm hoping that there'll be a slight stutter and hoping we come back. So I think you're back now, buddy.
Yep.
All right. So now this will be take 2. Now that I got the cable, I'm hoping this works. So we do the share screen, sharing the audio, a Chrome tab, my Trinidad Sour. Let's see if we can have a little watch party.
Nice.
All right.
You look good, dude.
I hope you're keeping well, and welcome to.
It's not doing audio, is it?
What's better at a garden party than a cocktail?
Is it doing audio?
And
yeah, doing audio.
Decided to make one during the day outside, and hey, while we're in isolation, day drinking's a bit of a thing, so we'll just pretend we're being sophisticated, having a garden party, and a drinky or two. Now, the cocktail I'm going to make today is one of the stranger ones I've made. It's called the Trinidad Sour, and it's strange in the way it features bitters, and I mean features. Normally, when you put bitters into a cocktail, you put a couple of drops, a couple of dashes of bitters. The Trinidad Sour has 1.5 shots of Angostura bitters. The phrase often used with how and why you use bitters in cocktails. Its bitters are to the cocktail maker what spices are to a chef. They're not the main event, but they accent some of the flavors and make it a little bit better. So this one feels a bit like when someone says, "Are we having steak for dinner?" Well, kind of. There'll be a little bit of steak, but your plate will be mostly pepper. Excuse me? No. It's just a thought I had. Rather than giving you a steak that's slightly seasoned, I'll give you a plate covered in seasoning, and there'll be a little bit of steak on there as well. And you go, okay, I'll try it. And so here we go. I'm going to try it with the Angostura Heavy Trinidad Sour. Our core element, 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of Angostura bitters. As it's only designed to come out a little bit at a time, it can take quite a while to get the required measure happening. When you've struggled your way to 45 mils of Angostura bitters, in the shaker it goes. We're also adding 1 ounce of a sweetener. I'm using an agave syrup. You can use simple syrup, orgeat, whatever sweetener you happen to have on hand. 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, and just 1/2 ounce of rye whiskey. The recipe I had recommended getting 100 proof or better rye, so I'm using the Rittenhouse rye, which is 100 proof, and a nice drop it is, but just 15 mils of that. A couple of big blocks of ice in the shaker, and away we go. Now we strain that into a chilled glass. That is a rather devilish color we've got going on here. Let's dive in, do the taste test. And it's actually really good. There's a reason this is on classic cocktail menus, I should say. Yes, it's bitter, but considering it's 1.5 shots of bitters rather than just a couple of dashes, the Angostura is remarkably under control in here. You're not going to like this if you don't like bitter drinks. We've got a balance with the lemon juice, with the sweetener, and a little bit of a kick from the bourbon. But while on paper, this might look like a decidedly bad idea, when it comes down to tasting it, it's really pretty good. While I'm happy with how that went, that seems a little bit too simple to me. Taking a recipe that seems dodgy, but other people have said is good, is only a bit of a risk. But what if I changed the bitters? What I have here is possibly the second best known bitters after Angostura. This is Peychaud's bitters, known as a Creole style. They're both aromatic bitters, but they have a very different flavor profile. And I've never seen anyone make a Trinidad sour with Peychaud's. I suppose we'd call it a Creole sour if it works, and just a terrible, terrible mistake if it doesn't. But now I'm going to make the same drink, but swapping out the Angostura bitters with the Peychaud's bitters. I've mixed up the same measures as the Trinidad sour, but this one is Peychaud's bitters rather than Angostura. It's a much brighter red. If you've seen it before, Peychaud's bitters is a very bright red compared to Angostura being quite brown. But here we go, the moment of truth. Oh my God, that works. That's actually better. This is not bad. It's worth trying an unusual drink like this, but I will go on record. The Creole version of the Trinidad sour is superior. I give this the thumbs up. This one's perfectly acceptable, but this one, Oh, that is really good. I actually really like that. I was prepared for this to be absolutely terrible, but it's worked out very well. So never be scared to experiment. And to my mind, this was a fairly extreme experiment, and it's worked. I feel happier for that. So this goes on my list from now on. Peychaud's bitters in a Trinidad sour, and I'm going to try it again in the future. I think, you know what, for fun, I might even milk clarify these, because that might even take a little bit of the edge off the bitters, make it go down smoother. Maybe post pictures on my Instagram. So if you're not following me on the socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Angry Aussie, you'll see I post all sorts of things. Angry Cocktails on the Instagram as well. And yeah, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do. Tell your friends about it. Hey, find a few interesting drinks here, tips and tricks, all sorts of experiments. And as always, please let me know in the comments if you've ever tried anything this weird, or if you think there's a more unusual drink that I should try. Not some weird crap you just made up, but something that's, you know, been published, that is recognized as a cocktail human people drink. And I'm always interested in experimenting, so I'd love to hear from you. But in the meantime, look after yourself, stay well, and I'll say cheers.
Okay, so that's that. And as I mentioned that I'd probably milk clarify that cocktail, this is the bright red one. This is the second one I made that was bright red. Doing the milk clarification process turns it this color, which, even though, you know, it just does my head in, even though that's the expected outcome. Yeah, Aussie Gun Bunny, the Creole Sour is a winner. Peychaud's Bitters is just really nice. And even now clarified, it just tastes fruity. This just tastes really fruity. Considering that besides the bitters, this has got 100 proof rye whiskey in it. I think AD's. Oh no, you're putting headphones on. I thought you were taking your headphones off there, buddy. What's going on? You're getting your house in order? You're making horrible noises.
Me?
Yes. When you fiddle with the microphone, it makes very bad noises.
And basically getting the goop off the microphone. And
fair enough.
That has occurred.
Goopless?
So happily, we have a goopless microphone, and it shan't make nasty, offensive sounds from here on out.
Alrighty.
We hope. We're looking for that.
Yeah. All right. So Aussie Gun Bunny thinks I should try and make a version of a pan-galactic gargle blast.
Gargle blaster. Fuck yes. Absolutely. I'll be prepared to fucking research that with you.
Yeah. Never drink more than 2 pan-galactic gargle blasters unless you're a 30-ton mega elephant with bronchial pneumonia. So Hitchhiker's Fandom Wiki, what do they reckon? Here's the actual book description of how. This is Douglas Adams's description of how to make a pangalactic gargle blaster. Take the juice from 1 bottle of Old Jank's spirit. Pour into it 1 measure of water from the seas of Santragina's V. Oh, that Santraginian seawater. Oh, those Santraginian fish. Allow 3 cubes of Arcturan Mega Gin to melt into the mixture. It must be properly iced or the benzene is lost. Allow 4 litres of Fallon marsh gas to bubble through it in memory of all those happy hikers who have died of pleasure in the marshes of Phalia. Over the back of a silver spoon, float a measure of qualactin hypermint extract, redolent of all the heady odours of the dark qualactin zone, subtle, sweet, and mystic. Drop in the tooth of an Algonian sun tiger, watch it dissolve, spreading the fires of the Algonian sun deep into the heart of the drink. Sprinkle zamphor, add an olive, and drink. but very carefully. So you'd have to go like, what would we say is Old Jank's Spirit? Something very moonshiny, I would think. A very potent alcoholic beverage.
Yeah.
So possibly
I think we're looking at a moonshiny mixture of something with something urban, like a really smooth vodka, or really smooth vodka, and a really rough moonshine, mixed together, and given a citrusy handshake, and what else could you put with citrus down the other end of citrus?
Well, I think it's obviously got to have some lemon in it anyway, because there's also that line about drinking a Pangalactic Gargle Blaster is like having your brain smashed out by a lead wedge of lemon wrapped around a large gold brick.
Yes, that's it.
So I'm thinking, if we want something really potent, the most potent things I have is the Navy Strength Gin, and they do talk about what do they call it? Mega Gin. So, well, okay, I definitely have to put my Navy Strength Gin in for Arcturan Mega Gin. Old Jank's Spirit. I mean, I could go the absinthe, 80% alcohol. You don't get much more than that. So for Old Jank's Spirit, I could use my absinthe, seawater, the simple saline, and a lot of cocktails have saline solution. And a lot of people say a little bit of salt actually brings out flavors rather than making the drink salty. Say a little bit of salt actually brings other flavors to the fore. So put a little bit of saline in it. So if I go absinthe, saline, Navy Strength Gin, marsh gas. Now, if I was super fancy, you actually get those smoker machines. If I was super fancy, I'd actually have a smoker and I'd actually, like smoke the glass, and that would be the marsh gas. But I don't have one of those, and I don't have any dry ice, so I can't really do that. But mezcal is smoky. That could be the equivalent of marsh gas. The drink being impregnated with marsh gas could be mezcal. So mezcal for marsh gas, because it's very smoky. Over the back of a silver spoon, qualactin hypermint extract. Okay, I do not have any minty drinks. I could just get some peppermint essence, like cooking stuff from the supermarket, because that's fucking 40%. Those cooking essences are between 40 and 60% alcohol anyway.
Exactly.
So I could get some mint essence just from the supermarket, some cooking, and that would be hypermint extract. Now, is that drop the tooth of an Algonian sun tiger and you watch it dissolve? I mean, do we cheat and just say that's a sugar cube? Because lots of drinks actually have a sugar cube in them as well. I don't know if that's taking the easy way out, dropping the tooth of a tiger in, and just dropping a sugar cube in, make it fizz. Stella makes a good point. Carbonated water is gas. So maybe actually make a highball. Yeah, I think a Pangalactic Gargle Blaster should be a highball. So yeah, carbonated water is swamp gas as well. And I still would like to put a bit of mezcal in so there's an actual smoke flavor in it as well.
Yeah.
And Zamphor. It says sprinkle Zamphor. So that's maybe just cinnamon. Sprinkle some cinnamon on top. Give it a bit of zing. How does that sound for a drink? Absinthe, saline, Navy strength gin, mezcal, mint extract, a sugar cube, some carbonated water to top it, and you're supposed to add an olive. Sprinkle Zamphor, maybe sprinkle cinnamon. Oh, or sumac. I found that goes really well in drinks because I made sumac-infused vodka. So a bit of, and sumac has a really interesting spicy sour taste. So maybe sprinkle a bit of sumac over the top, which is red. Okay. Still, you think I should drop false teeth lollies in it? I like that. Or possibly just they have some pretty wacky cake decorations that are just sugar. Maybe drop one of them in there. I do like the idea of dropping the false teeth lollies in there. I'll try and make that on Friday night. A pan gargle blaster. Because if I'm got absinthe and Navy strength gin in it, I'm going to want to be fairly careful about not having to get up early the next morning.
I'm going to bring various different ingredients myself because I think it's one of my favorite concepts. Did you know that I'm going to tell you too. Did you know that to afford this bloody tablet and the ticket that goes with it, I sold all of my stuff in my storage locker. It's basically all gone. So everything I own now is everything you see in my flat.
Right.
And one of my favorite books in the world, of course, is everything by Douglas Adams, and the Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster is something that needs to be truly made and experienced.
Right.
There's two different versions. There's the one that's the alcoholic version, and there's the one there's the substance version. And I've been trying to work on the substance version for a very, very long time. So if I can ever get it together, I will. But in honor of everything that's happened to said fine book, I'm going to be working with you on Friday on the Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster.
Excellent. You know what? That's an excellent plan. What I also just thought, because I'm thinking traditionally the Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster is a yellow-green color, and I'm thinking if I mix the way I'm thinking of, actually no, the blue absinthe, it'll actually probably come out the right color. Probably come out a blue-green, because if I put in the rest are all clear or nearly clear spirits. So the absinthe is blue, saline's clear. I might even just put, actually, instead of, they say, a measure of water from Santignis V, I might actually do the sumac. The sumac infused vodka. That can be the seawater. That's spicy, salty, sour seawater. Yes, that can be That can be the water from the seas of Santrogenus V. Okay.
Oh,
So,
there we go. Yeah. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that's going to make the color weird. Blue and red going together is probably going to make it really murky. But blue absinthe, red vodka, clear gin, clear mezcal, be clear mint extract. Yeah. But I thought the thought I just had is if it comes out a really murky, gross color, what happens to almost everything I put through the milk clarification process? It goes a golden color. So if I need to, I can, if it's a really murky color when I make it, I can do the milk clarification process and it will almost certainly come out a really golden color. All right, that sounds like a plan for Friday night.
Yeah. I like
That's
it.
Friday
I
night
like it.
action sorted.
I like it Friday night.
Pan Galactic Gargle Blaster night.
Yeah, and I'm going to start putting some thoughts together for Pangalactic Gargle Blasting myself.
Oh yeah.
To see if I can't put something useful into the mix.
If you look it up, I actually found looking through this site, they had a link to a wiki that has like 15 versions that different people have proposed over time. No, 17 versions. So there's a wiki on cocktails, and their Pan Galactic Gargle Blaster has 17 versions. It's basically, it's everything. It's like it's supposed to be a dangerous, dangerous drink. So you just put everything in it.
Yeah.
It's like whatever you have, just put everything in it.
Yeah.
Just quickly glancing at all these ones, I like my proposal much better.
No.
I love this one. Someone's saying like, yeah, you got to have equal parts vodka, rum, whiskey, preferably something cheap and harsh. It's like you're not meant to enjoy the drink. You're not meant to enjoy it.
Actually, I remember. I remember reading that bit. It was basically going, you're meant to turn up with one of these things and burn your way into the party.
Yeah.
It's like a breaching tool rather than a drink.
Yep. God, for shits and giggles, I could put a shot of my chili liqueur in it. That'll wake you up.
I wonder if you couldn't put a small charge on top of something very high end and then blow it and say that it was a breaching charge, saying that the Pan Galactic Gargle Blaster was about blowing into a door, so that instead of needing an invite to a party, you just blow your way in to the door and you've got a bottle and away you go.
But if I was just sticking with the description from the book, I don't really see an angle to put the chili in because there's no reference to anything chili in there.
What about the sandwich maker?
What?
Later on,
yes.
Okay, the Pan Galactic Gargle Blaster.
Yes.
Later on in the series,
yes,
you've got the sandwich maker, who is also the Pan Galactic Gargle Blaster maker.
Okay.
And he is both of these holy officers. And he is teaching people how to make sandwiches and how to mix Pan Galactic Gargle Blasters. And one of these guys is doing a pretty good job, except his pan-galactic gargle blasters keep on blowing up. And
Yeah.
there's some con or something where they'd organised it for these drinks to literally blow up every night, and then they finally got enough. They finally got enough. Fuck. What is it? Not absinthe, and not the Drambuie. The other really high end alcohol that is virtually explosive, rather than just detonative. Let me try and think it through, okay? And I'll get back to you.
Yeah. Don't stress. I'm also thinking. I'm agreeing with what someone's saying in the chat that your headphones, your mic, do not seem to be operating at peak efficiency. Maybe get a new one.
Are we getting?
No. You just made a bunch of horrible noises, and basically you sound like you're talking from the bottom of a well. Just don't fiddle with it because that doesnn't help.
I'll see if I can't find another set of headphones and
might be able to get some delivered to you.
Well, that's very nice. That's very nice.
Yeah.
But let me see if I haven't got some, floating around.
Oh my God, David's got a classic limerick, seeing it's Limerick Day. A young psychic midget named Marge went to jail on a serious charge, but despite lock and key, the lady broke free, and the news said small medium at large. That's a classic. That's beautiful. That's
pretty good. That's pretty good.
Apparently, Arthur Dent's the sandwich maker. There you go. But I'll look at a couple of websites that potentially have a delivery service and have headphones, and see if I can find you something. Right. God, there's such an absurd range. Like, they literally go from $5 to $500.
Yeah, we don't need $500 headphones.
No.
We don't.
But trying to work out where the sweet spot is.
$5.
No, the $5 ones are just shitty.
I did have another set of these floating around because they're actually very good. It's just that they die after a while.
Yeah.
Let me have a look and see if I can find them. If I can find them, yay. If I can't, it means these are the second pair.
Oh hell! I just found a half price set. Are these any good? That probably means they're outdated, which is fine by us.
Fine, yes, doesn't. I'm
Tune
not
for gaming. Real gaming audio.
Gaming is fine because it means
Hear it
you
all,
can
win it
speak to
all.
one another.
Chat you can rely on. Features an advanced omnidirectional mic. That's what we want. We want to make sure it has a mic. And can't. Just think if there's anything else I want from JB. All right. All right. Well, I reckon that's the one we want. If I remembered my password. No? Okay. Oh, fuck you, website. Oh, for fuck's sake. Bet that was my password and you're just a dumb website. Okay, go fuck yourself, website. Oh, fucking websites, man. I mean, what are they about? Safa's asking, is JB an essential service? Dude, we can do whatever we want now. As of midnight tonight. Yeah, no, actually, you're still only meant to go shopping for things you need. Communication in this world where we're all isolated, that's a fucking essential service, wouldn't you say, Easy Man?
Yes, it's an essential service, and I'm allowed to communicate on things. I'm just not allowed to get communicated on because I'm not very good at it.
Okay. I'm going to reset password on this stupid account. And I don't know what password I set before, but it's not the one I thought I set.
I'm going to have to be doing a lot of that.
Okay.
Password resetting.
Okay. Orders. Wait, what the fuck is that? Oh, that's sent. That's stuff I bought before. I'm going, I didn't buy that stuff. Oh no, that's something I ordered before. That's I thought something new. Safi, you want to buy a 4K Blu-ray? I think that's essential too, brother. So Gecko's saying about the sandwich maker. Arthur got stranded on a planet. The people were amazed at the mere idea of sandwiches. And it was revered as an art form. Had to get meat from perfectly normal beasts, which would appear and disappear at perfectly normal intervals and location. Had to be distracted from running by a small bird. Arthur Dent finally got away by riding one of the beasts out through their portal and ended up at the diner at the beginning of the universe.
Yep.
That is very well recalled, Gecko.
Unfortunately, he ended up at the diner at the end of
the restaurant at the end of the universe.
No, sorry, the nightclub at the end of the Earth. I think, yeah, at the end of Earth, and it's yes, Stava Romula Beta. It's it doesn't matter. It's it makes much more sense when you read it. Very dark.
Yeah.
Very
it
dark.
did. The last one Douglas Adams wrote got very dark. I think he was in a dark place at that time.
Well, he said later on in his in interviews that he was in a dark place in his world, and he'd lost a lot of stuff that he couldn't get back, and as he was writing, he was bringing back a lot of the darkness of the possibilities of Hitchhiker's Guide, not the fun possibilities, you know.
Yeah.
this hippie fruit knows where his towel is.
Yeah.
The towels are gone. Towels are no longer acceptable. But you get back to a place where towels are a thing that once more becomes uh, a hoopy place to
Yeah.
hang one's alcohol bottle into.
Yes.
Mm. And it, what stunned me was um, Goodbye, So Long, and Thanks for All the Fish, which was um, the last little bit of the Douglas Adams writing. What I didn't know what that was going to happen was that Dirk Gently or Dirk Gently, I should say,
Dirk Gently.
and bloody uh, uh, what's his bloody name? Um, what's his name? He tends to hitchhike across the universe. What's his
Ford
name?
Prefect.
Yeah, Ford Prefect. So Dirk Gently and Ford Prefect are going to meet up in this book. I had no idea that this was going to occur. That this this book was going to have this um, the two story arcs
Yeah.
actually collide,
Okay.
and that was gonna be fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I remember on the day that this was all going down, that I remembered thinking Douglas Adams is dead and George Bush is alive.
Yeah.
How did that happen? And because um, Douglas Adams can invent the Dirk Gently meeting and being with Ford Prefect and fucking yeah uh, 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 fucking George Bush can have a mission. Was it mission succeeded?
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished on a big ship. Fuck, I
Well,
love that photo. That's a
and
great photo, though.
it was, yeah. And the Gulf War went on for many more years and killed many more thousands of
Many
American
more thousands
troops
of people.
and approximately
Yeah.
500,000 Iraqi civilians. But hey, who
Mm-hmm.
cares about them? But
Mm.
but then Douglas Adams dropped dead in a gym before he could do it. So that's the lesson, kids. Never exercise. It'll kill
Never
you.
exercise. Never exercise, and always elect. Um, uh, yeah, Americans do your exercising for you. Though one of my most favourite things is it was pictures of them putting up safety screens for President Obama, and
Right.
and they go, because you never know when nigger's gonna drop out of 9 and start wasting motherfuckers. And uh, uh, I think it actually got it to the New Yorker before it got taken down. It was
Okay.
pretty funny, I thought.
Yeah.
Um, and
Oh,
apparently Obama himself thought it was pretty funny.
yeah. David's come in with some trivia. Apparently, Adams was 6'5", a tall gentleman.
Yeah, but it was 6'5" in the British way. You know,
The British way. He told the best story about being British, about how he was waiting for a train once. He was like at the central London station, whatever it is, and there's a cafe there. And he got a tea and a little packet of biscuits, and he sat down with it. And there was a guy at their table, and lo and behold, this guy took one of his biscuits and dipped it in his tea. And Douglas Adams was affronted, but being English, couldn't do anything more than tighten his lips a bit. And just, so those are my biscuits. He took one and dipped it in his tea as to, warning, don't touch them again, buddy. And the guy reaches across with a defiant expression and takes one of the biscuits and this goes on because there's like 6 or 8 biscuits in the packet, and they're doing it one for one and just like staring at each other without saying anything because they're English and they don't want to cause a scene and they want to express their displeasure non-verbally. And anyway, this guy walks off without saying anything. And Douglas Adams is so affronted that this guy did this. It was completely unreasonable behavior. And God, I'm going to go now. I'm so upset. And picked up his newspaper. And under his newspaper was his packet of biscuits. It had been the other guy's packet of biscuits that Douglas Adams was stealing. And the other guy, being British, wouldn't say anything. So they were both thinking exactly the same thing, which is just brilliant. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, gotta love that. And it's very British. It's very British.
I was asking what's considered tall. I don't know. I think over 6 foot is tall. Over 6'3" is weirdly tall. I think once you pass 6'3", you're in weird territory. 6 foot's tall, but over 6'3". Oh, David, you're 6'2". You're fucking big, man. You are tall. You're not weirdly tall, though. I'm glad I had that proviso in. Past 6'3" is weirdly tall. That's almost circus tall. 6 foot tall, you're very tall. You're a tall, imposing man.
Yeah.
We're both 5'8", so it's like you're towering over us by half a foot.
Oh, fuck yes.
Yes?
I'm thinking that we should fire breathe a fucking large tankard of fucking cocktail ablaze.
Not setting anything on fire.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, okay. Having said that, I actually have a few things I could do very gently as a float on top that are over 50%, so they should light on fire.
Right.
So just do a very gentle float on top and then just light the bit on top, and it should actually light.
Oh, you know what else you could do?
Yeah.
You could put effectively what would be coins of above, high-end spirit.
Yeah.
Not so that they'd all join together. Just that so they could all, float at different areas.
Yeah.
So that you get different flame results. And if you put different mixtures, you'd get different color combinations as well.
Okay, yeah, you're getting pretty specialized then, understanding what chemical composition is going to produce what color flame. If we're talking about booze, something that's drinkable, that's usually just going to be a blue flame because it's just ethanol that's burning. It's nothing very exotic. But yes, if someone who really knows chemistry can produce 6 different colors of flame, but this is something to be drunk by humans. I just noticed after me saying if you're over 6'3", you're weird. Gecko's 6'4", so
Gecko, you're not weird, man. You're Gecko.
yeah,
And,
you're our man. He's the man who takes us on tours of absurdly large petrol stations in America and absurdly large convenience stores. I'm not sure if you were on that stream, but he was, because he's a driver as a job. And the petrol station had 50 petrol pumps at it, and the convenience store attached to it had a wall of beef jerky. It was like 40 different flavors of beef jerky. It's just like, and that's just in a it's not like in, beef jerky R Us limited specialty store. It's just in a roadside petrol station convenience store, which is woof. So, and Stella's saying her brother's 6'4" too, and she's only 5'5". God, you're only 5'5" and your brother's 6'4". That would piss me off too. But you're not the shortest in your family. You've got an aunt who's 4'11". Good Lord.
I reckon you could probably get a scholarship by playing football, and play offense.
Oh yeah,
have a fucking really good arm that throws all the way down the fucking field to a decent catch.
Yeah.
And you've got yourself a degree.
Okay, buddy. It's bedtime, so I'm going to go say good night to the peeps.
Pete, good night to you.
Yeah.
I want you to think of jokes I can tell you tomorrow, and I want you to tell 10 of your mates to send me lots of money. Because it's my 50th. I'm only going to get one of them, and I'm probably going to be dead soon. So, fucking bring in the cash. And it's actually going to be worthwhile because the actual present is going to be something that's going to be good for you.
Yeah. So,
anyway,
good night, all. If you, young man, hang around for a second after I end the stream, I have to ask you a quick question before going to bed. But everyone else, we're going to say good night. See you soon. Take care. But bye.